We're going to call this meeting to order. This is a workshop meeting for the town board to discuss the tentative budget in make it into a preliminary budget at this month's meeting. There'll be no public comment during this meeting. So let's get started. How would you guys like to start? You want to start at the increases first or right from line to line? Up to you guys.
Line by line.
Okay, sounds good.
We starting with the revenue? Or we just going to the spend?
We started at the revenue, you're at the
Okay.
top,
Yep.
first page.
All right.
Everybody has a copy,
Yeah,
correct?
real property tax, 0.
Correct, that's always zeroed out.
Why?
Because we don't have the exact figure right now, and it's just, that's the way it's always been done in the past.
So we have 23 and 24, well, 23 here, and that's 30.
That's what,
Read 0 for 23, and
Correct.
we have the numbers for that.
correct. It's zeroed out, then you bring your revenue in, and then you subtract your expenses from it. So the real property tax is 0, always in the budget. It's the way it's always been done for a million years. I followed the same format that's been followed by previous supervisors. Am I correct on that, previous to that? It's always
I
been 0.
believe it's so, yes, I believe,
So in the, so it would never be reflected even though it's in the past, and we do know what it was in the past. We do know what it was in 2023 and 2024. We still listed as 0.
It's always been listed as 0.
Okay, so since we're on the first line, can I?
And this is what you submit to, you have to submit to, the county comptroller?
No, I fill out the state's paperwork, the
comptroller.
state comptrollers.
So, I mean, before we, maybe I should have mentioned this before we start line by line. So I looked at tentative budgets for, from other towns. Some of them look exactly the same as ours, like Amenia and the town of Northeast. Some of them look different and have a lot more information, which makes them a lot more user, reader, community member, maybe friendly. And I'm wondering if we could request that our, firm do it in a similar format. Like here's the town of Stanford. This says preliminary, but they do their tentative the one that way too. And Ankrum does one. So I guess my question is, can we be in conversation with Michael and ask him, this one is exactly like ours from the town of the Northeast. This one is Stanford, and then Ankrum has a lot more of the information, and it would have some of that information from previous years, especially. It would also have actual expenditures and things like that that would help us to understand better. Is the format something that we could be in conversation with Michael about revising?
We can talk about it.
When can we meet with him?
Whatever. We'll set up an appointment with them, I mean.
Yeah, I mean, we get the actuals in the monthlies, but it's
In the
not,
operating
it's
statement,
not,
correct.
yes,
Yeah.
it's not summarized here. We don't have it. I mean, since 23 is in the past, 24 is mostly gone, you know, I've gone through, we have the numbers, some of them lined up here where I have question areas of the actuals, and by having them here, it shows it brings up some very big questions. So I'm wondering why we don't do it that way. It would help construct the budget more properly and easily.
We can change any way you want to do it.
And I
I
think,
just
Can we
followed
do it
previously.
Can we do it for this year?
No. That will not leave us enough time to do it for this year.
I mean, the information they have.
I'm willing to call him and have a conversation.
Okay.
All right.
At least find out if it's doable and will there be more expense involved in doing it that way, and
Well, Michael doesn't do the budget.
Who does who formats it this way?
The format's been the format it's always been. That's the format that I've
So who
followed.
this has always
because-
been, since I've been on the board, this is the exact way that the
So who
budget.
creates
That's
the
really
document?
fine.
This
You've been
document,
on the
I do.
board,
That's
but
my
you
job.
know, I think. that
so
we
you
can
have
entertain
it in
change.
spreadsheet.
No, I got
form?
you, but I'm just.
Right here. This is the way, same way you got it right there.
Yeah, this is what we have, and other towns are doing it this way too, but there are towns that are doing it in this type of format, and it provides a lot more side-by-side information. I mean, we could research all the actuals and write it in, handwrite it in, but I don't think that that's a wise use of our time. You know, if we could have it in a spreadsheet like this, then it would help us to understand what we've spent each year, what we need to budget, and so on and so forth.
Why does what you have and Robert have differ from what we have?
This was my copy, and they didn't have a copy of the tentative budget, so I printed it right off of my screen. The only thing is, I have green and red, increases and decreases. That's the only difference. Would you like a copy of this?
I would love it.
I'll give you a copy of this one.
Here, okay.
That's easy enough.
Might as well do one for Janine too.
Yep. That's the only difference, is mine's in green and mine's in, the minuses are in red.
I guess my thought is that it would be helpful to have more information on the spreadsheet. That's all. Have you looked at budgets from other towns?
I have not, because I followed this format, because we've done this for umpteen years, and that's the budget that I follow. Followed that format that was put in.
So how do you create the budget then?
Based off of operating statements.
So
Well,
somewhere
we,
you have a
years
comparison.
prior, no, years prior. So like right now, when you create your revenue, you go down through your operating statement, and where you are in the red, where we brought in more, that shows an increase in the line item. And then where you spent more, that shows an increase in the
So
line
you
item as well.
basically just go to the ones
The
where
previous
where
year,
there's variation.
the previous year, yes,
And if it's over or under, you adjust.
you
those.
adjust for that, yes,
Okay. So then that's good, because when we get to like interests and earnings and things like that, where there's a big variation in the actuals versus what was budgeted for consistently year after year,
correct,
then we need to make some adjustments.
Correct.
In some cases, some very serious adjustments.
correct.
Okay,
Okay, cool. Let's go down line by line.
And just, we are high on this budget, but that's what we're here for, to chop it down. I have no intentions of going over the tax cap at all. So that brings us up to,
Thank you.
real property taxing, interest and penalty has stayed the same. The non-property tax distribution by the county, that stayed the same. The tax collection fees are zeroed. Town clerk fees is $250, stayed the same. Dog control fees stayed the same. Vital statistic fees stayed the same. Park and rec charges stayed the same as far as revenue. Concession stands stayed the same. That's a hit and miss. You don't know how much business you're gonna do. It's an approximate.
how is park and rec charges different than the recreation budget?
This is your in revenue right now.
Yeah, so they don't get.
So this is what is coming in
Projected.
from.
Yes, yep,
Yeah, but they don't get to keep it. It goes into the general fund.
correct.
It doesn't get to go back to the rec.
Kayak rental stayed the same. Camp and sponsors fees, stayed the same, 24. Summer camp receipts stayed the same at 38,000.
So here's where I have my first questions. In 2023, it was budgeted for 38,000, where the actuals were 67,750. And then in 2024, budgeted 38,000 again, and the actuals were 47.
Yep. and
272.
It's been budgeted that way for the last 10 years, exactly at 38,000. It was a projected revenue. Say you can't have camp that year for some reason, like the pandemic or something, couldn't have camp. So if you project more than what you have in there, so you have 64,000, say we put 64,000, we couldn't have camp that year. We're projecting that as a revenue. And our expenses are higher, you don't have that 64,000 to rely on with
Aren't-
your revenue.
Most of the revenue expenses associated with that line item related to the campus south. If we don't have the camp, then we don't have the expenses.
Well, no, this is revenue. We won't, if we don't have the camp, we don't get the money.
Right. But
So-
isn't the money that is raised for that, isn't that money used mostly for the camp?
No, because all the money that is raised goes into the general fund. They don't get to, the camp doesn't get to keep their money. It comes to the town, it's collected by the town, and then it goes into the general fund.
So when there is, in previous years where there's been, quite a bit of revenue above this 38, it goes into the general fund. But I guess maybe when we get down to where we are talking about the camp, why wouldn't some of that extra money be parlayed? into
Go
the
back
camp?
into it.
Thank you.
Yes, I agree with you on that.
So we'll get there.
Yeah, but so all this is, we're estimating how much it's gonna bring in. We don't wanna go up to, in case there is an event like where we would rather be under. So this way, if we come over, then it's,
And then,
we're in our meat, like, that's a good projection of where we've been in the past.
and then we can make a decision to do with the overage.
Correct.
Okay,
So like.
I'll
like
bounce that around in my head for a
summer-
while, but
Yeah,
So
so we're not spending this.
Yeah.
This is what's coming in.
it's a projected
Yeah.
on what. So
right, I
summer,
understand that. I knew that in the beginning, but
so summer camp receipts this year came in lower than that 68. Summer camp receipts came in at 52,795. So they were lower than that 68.
for twenty
From the
twenty-four,
previous year.
Yes, no, year to date, right now,
I got 47.
it's 52. As of
Didn't you
the
have to give some of that
September
back?
3rd. No. That's
Refunded.
as of September 30th, camp receipts were 52,795. According to the operating statement.
Okay. The next item, Park and Rec.
Banners, rec sponsors and banners stayed the same. Baseball fees stayed the same.
That's last year.
Yep. Cable TV fees, that's a set contract, 25,000.
Cable TV for,
The cable TV fees, the contract we have with Optimum to carry this area. That's the amount of money they pay into us
oh, okay,
for,
We
to
did that
have
a
this
few
area.
years back,
right.
where they are cable provider, like, and Optimum came in, yeah.
Okay,
Okay. Zoning fees, $500. That's a hit and miss on what you're gonna actually bring in. This year we got a little lucky. We had a little bit more with the buildings. Planning board fees stayed the same. Youth services and other governments, 0. Interest earnings, we upped that to $10,000. Now, we can, I'll stop on that and talk about that right now. We can, according to the latest operating statement that I just got, we can actually increase that more. Because we're a little low on our figure there.
well, yeah, what I have for 2023, the actual was 34,876, and we were budgeted as receiving 8.5 thousand.
Yep,
And in
so
2024, the actuals were 29,000. I guess that would be year to date. And it's still budgeted for 8.5.
well, budgeted for 10.
Well, yes.
For
Yeah.
sorry,
2025.
Yes, for
yeah,
2025.
2025.
So, we can increase that. Right now, year to date, we have 30,699.08.
So right off the bat, we know that.
We've got 20 more.
Yeah,
I wouldn't go the full. I'd leave it a little low just to cover us. Because if we start subtracting that from our final budget and we don't bring in that much interest, we're in trouble.
What are you suggesting?
I'm suggesting
15.
20. I'm suggesting upping that to 20. Just to be-
Taking that 10 to
just-
20.
Just to be safe. That's what I have on my paper. Is everybody in agreement on that?
I would say.
Yeah.
Just to cover us. Rental, real property, that's a new line that we added for the rental of the community center. So I have that at 1,000. We've been very lucky, made some money off of that this year.
What was the
I think
income
that's
for
a
this year?
safe number.
Got 1,950 from what we got from the.
I need two straight edges here. $2,050. So I think that 1,000 is a safe number to be at.
I think 1,500 is a safe one too. Cause
We can,
you're right, it's
we can-
$100 a pop,
no, residents are 50.
still rent it out like almost every weekend. Yeah, I would say 1,500 safe.
1,500, you wanna go up to?
Yeah,
That's
extra 500 might help somewhere.
Okay. Bingo licenses and permits stayed at 100. No more bingo around. License,
Why do we have it on there?
it's also covers the permit.
We have a
Any
permit to
permits?
operate bingo?
You need a permit.
It's
to
a
operate
gamble
bingo.
license.
Do we have it?
The town doesn't.
I
Fire
can
company,
give,
when the
I
fire
can give
company
to
did it,
somebody.
she can issue them. That's
alright.
why it's in there just in case.
Okay.
Licenses, any dog licenses and all that stuff, we got about $2,000. Stayed the same.
Is that pretty much what we earn? Or is it still lowballing it?
Year to date, actually, we're lower. Year to date is 920.
But the year not over, so.
Yeah. So. Thank you, buddy.
You're prepared.
He is, he gave me one too.
Yeah, so 920, so. We're a little low.
I think it also just depends on if people remember to get their dog license, because they're supposed to do it every year. And I know I personally,
You get a
I
reminder.
slacked a few times, so.
You get a reminder in the mail.
I'm just glad I was on Judy's good side.
License, other, stayed at $100.
And what's that, marriage
one-
license and what is-
Anything
That would
that's
be
not
vital.
class, yes.
Yeah,
It would be what?
Like marriage licenses would be like vital statistics. 100 would be like hometown banners, maybe would be other licenses or driveway permits. They pay $30 fee and then the bond.
So we got, in that line, item, we're at 147.50. That's all, 47 bucks, so $100 is a safe route. License and permits, that was up to $1,000. We brought in 15 so far, so that 9 gives us a safe
Cushion.
Is that
cushion
like
there.
your hunting licenses and stuff like that, that one?
It's our portion of the fees. Everybody good with that small increase?
Think so. Oh. You're gonna leave it the same.
Yeah, no, I got
Oh,
it
it
increased.
went up
to
to
1,000.
9,
Yep,
yeah,
yep,
8,000,
yep, yep.
yes. But I meant leaving it the same as what you had.
Yes.
marked, Yeah.
All right, permits other stayed at 250.
what other permits are there?
Anything that's not classified in that line, currently has it listed as permits other. That was as per Torsia. So.
I mean,
Nothing
what
was
would be
taken
an
out of,
example?
Like I don't have a lot, there's no line for like peddler's permits, so
Yeah.
I always put it
Okay.
in miscellaneous revenue.
Okay,
so that's what, something like that would get pulled out of there. We have not had any yet this
Mhm.
year, so we're zeroed out on that.
Ever since Brandon gave up the hot dog truck.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Fines, forfeits and bails, we left at 20. We're at 14.8 right now. It's still early.
mhm.
Bus patrol, that's a new line item. That's, are you guys familiar with that?
No,
Okay, bus patrol, we're involved, the schools have cameras on the buses now, anybody that passes a school
Oh,
bus
okay.
with their signs on, we get a set fee out of it. So, that's based off of, the operating
It's close
statements.
to what the previous's were, so,
No, we haven't
That's
had
new.
that,
That's
that's
new.
new.
Yeah.
we didn't. have
Oh,
that.
um. Interesting. Okay. That's new this year?
Yes,
The cameras went on last year, right?
I believe that was it
Who paid
last
for the
year?
cameras, the school or us?
I
Neither.
thought it was a,
Okay,
grant.
okay.
Yeah, neither paid for 'em. This was a, we win 100% kind of thing,
Mhm.
because we didn't have to pay a dime for anything. So far with that, we brought in about $432.50 off of that one. So,
You kind of hope that that one just goes low, so
Ye-
people are
it's-
stopping for
yes.
buses.
Of course.
scrap, we up to $5,000. We're at 5,900 right now. Year to date brought in. Any questions, changes? You good with that?
We've made more in the past, but it's not something you can really count on.
You can't, scrap fluctuates so much, you can't on how much you're gonna bring in, that's right.
Minor sales.
Minor sales is zeroed out.
What is that?
That would be like if somebody came in and wanted to get copies, they would be 50 cents a copy.
Which.
Oh.
Insurance recoveries. Stayed the same.
Yeah, I think, I have insurance recoveries. Can you give me an example of, I needed sort of a definition of that, you know, like we had, a problem and we went to the insurance company and they paid out. Is that
This
what-
is, well, this is a revenue line item, so anything we put a claim in on. It'd be money we got back.
Right.
And we haven't?
We haven't. No. Nope, it's been zeroed out.
Oh, wait, that's refund from prior years. Is there, insurance recoveries still?
Insurance recoveries is a 5,000.
5,000,
5,000.
yeah.
Correct.
I thought you said zeroed out.
No, for this year. Operating statement.
Oh, okay. The actual, you're saying.
The actual, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, yes. Refunds from prior years is zeroed out. Gifts and donations, we have in there for $500.
What did we get in
If
previous?
someone makes a donation.
I understand what it is, but what did we?
What's
Um,
actual?
Actual right now is $200
What did
that
that?
we got. So 500's a safe number.
Guess we're not knocking. on
Unclassified
doors.
revenues,
Yeah, that's a question. It needs a little definition.
unclassified revenues.
Yeah, right.
Okay, the, it goes for, any clerk's fees that are not listed in a line item. The accountant will place them in that unclassified revenue line item. We'll have Corinna do that. Any extra police money such as like basketball games that the police department covers that we get paid for, that goes in the unclassified revenue line item.
So you went from 2,000 to 4,000.
Correct.
In actuals 23, it was like 7,829, and then in 24, it was 5,000.
Okay. So budgeted last year, 2,000, actuals are $5,826. So there's an increase of 191.3%
Mhm.
in that. And that's gonna constantly go back up because we're doing football games now and we're doing basketball games again. before the Dutchess County Sheriff's Office were handling football games. We got them back. So we're making a revenue off of that.
Okay,
I actually proposed actually increasing that by 1,000.
From 4 to 5?
Yes, that's my recommendation, but
Or what are we at year to date?
year to date was $5,826.
so let's increase that to 5.
And so, how is that reflected then in the increase in, we'll get to it, in the increase of, police lines? We'll see.
Unclassified revenues for the Stop DWI, the county program that we're involved in now, that the county pays us for shifts that we cover in our area for Stop DWI. Year to date on that is $2,000. I have $1,000 as a new line item for that. That's year to date, yep.
Well, 2,000 is what you want to raise it up to.
I was
No.
gonna leave it at 1,000.
Oh, you
No,
were?
yeah.
Yeah.
It's new,
Yeah,
so we'll
it's
see
new.
how it goes.
This is the first year that we did it, right?
First year's line. Right?
Yeah. It was broken out of the actual payroll because the county sends us a check. All right, we are down to state aid.
Mortgage.
We increased that to 50,000 because our state aid as of year to date, we received in was $55,272.
That's the same segment where I had. So that's good.
What was it in 24 and 23? The actual,
I don't have the actual right
Oh,
here for those
okay.
dates.
23, it was 125,000. 122, it was quite a bit more. And it was budgeted as 35,000 back then. So why was 23 so high?
COVID money, maybe? I don't,
That's a substantial difference.
I don't,
Weren't there other,
it's whatever the state wants to give you, the state's gonna give you.
you remember, Sarah? Why it would be so high in 23?
And that's the actual you're talking about, right, Kevin?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
actual was 125,122 in 2023. State aid, mortgage tax, MTG mortgage tax.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and what did you have for 24?
well, it was budgeted 35
Right.
income and now
What
it's
was
what was your actual?
for
24.
exactly what you said, 55,272.
No,
that's what he has
that's
for year to date.
Yeah, that's for
Yeah.
year to date.
Okay,
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's the actual,
okay.
and then it was budgeted 35, so I guess 50 is the safe place to leave it.
State aid records management stayed at 7,500. We haven't gotten anything off of that revenue wise yet. That might come at the end of the year. We do get some stuff at the end of the year. And that's it as far as revenues.
Sorry,
It's all right, Janine, it's all right.
He's
picking
safe.
up your real estate here.
He's got his ruler, he's good.
Give me a sliver.
Okay.
Okay. You guys on town board,
Yes.
okay. Stayed the same. No increases. Town board CE stayed the same.
What's that?
That would be your training,
Okay,
all that stuff.
That's when we normally go under. If we don't, right, $2,000 on training, we don't spend that much, right?
We spent 2,600 this year, we're a little over.
because you had new people
Justice,
needed training.
Justice has an increase. This increase is due to the second, court clerk that was hired, at a higher rate than what was originally protected.
And this is
So-
what they presented to you.
No, it was my math that did this.
So what
Based
are they
off of their
present?
hours.
What are they?
I did not
presenting?
get an exact, the only thing I got asked is, can you restore our, CE line item to pre-COVID number? That's all that was.
That's what you got
presented.
requested.
Yes, yes,
Oh, boy.
yes.
Okay.
Any questions as far as that?
No,
Justice EQ stayed 0. Justice CE was at 5,500, so I request that we do up that to that 7,500 that they requested. This will be their schooling and,
So that 5,500
center-
going to
you
7,500.
guys good with that?
That's what their pre-COVID number was, you're
Yes.
saying.
Yep, that's what they requested.
okay.
My
Kind
PS
of makes
number,
sense, cause on the monthlies, when we see their bills, they're pretty close.
yep, they got new justices too,
Yeah.
so he had to go to the longer class. Supervisor PS, that would be, Amanda, my salary, and, the bookkeeper. That's, 89. My EQ, supervisor EQ,
So that's a 3.4% increase. In 24. Okay,
question on that?
no,
So that difference is split between the secretary and the bookkeeper.
Mhm.
okay,
Supervisor EQ stayed the same, and my CE went down $2,000.
What's that, that's your training?
Yes,
What do you mean it went down 2,000?
He doesn't
lowered
think
that.
he's gonna do as much.
No, no,
training.
I.
It was at 4,000. It was at.
Right.
And then he put it to 2,000. So I
But this,
don't know.
but in this, on this sheet, it says it was at 2,000.
yeah, in 24, it says 2,000.
I wrote that 4,000 because it was
Oh.
from
yes,
24.
you are correct on that, Jimmy.
Oh,
Yeah, so I think this is just a mistake right here, right?
24 is,
All right,
Yes, it's
Yeah,
just a
No,
mistake,
okay.
because the actual was 4,000. Yeah,
yes.
I have it here also.
and so why do you want to decrease that?
because I don't think I'm gonna spend that.
Okay.
Especially with everything online and the free offerings from the comptroller's office and everything.
Yeah.
The independent audit and accounting, I feel we need to increase this.
This is,
Portia,
right,
yes.
That 24.5 right now.
Year to date, we spent 25,278. So we're up 3.2% from last year.
so
Our,
if we're gonna increase him, can we?
I was gonna say, you want a meeting too, and we're already over that number, so we should increase it a little bit.
yes,
Can we-
you probably won't meet
can
him,
we-
you'll meet someone from his office.
And if we want to have a different format or have different information funneled to us, then we can.
Yes,
All right,
So let's go 28. You think 28 is feasible or 29?
I don't think we need to give them that big of a raise. I think we just say this is what we
But we're
want.
at 25 already. Right, for the year to date,
Yeah,
27,
27.
yes,
and are we pleased with what he has done so far?
absolutely, I would not change to anybody else,
Okay,
absolutely.
does he do Amenia and Northeast too?
I don't know if he does a meeting in the
I mean,
Northeast.
you're the one with questions. That's a
They
good
look the
question.
same, it looks,
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know. I would imagine because he used to have his own firm. And then they merged with RBT, I think it is
Mhm.
now. So he could be doing every single municipality as far as I know. They're a bigger firm,
So are we going with that 28?
27.
27, yeah.
Tax collector stayed the same. Tax collector CE stayed the same. Budget officer stayed the same.
The tax collector is not getting a cost of living increase. Oh,
It's been the same for up 10 years. We can increase
I
that.
think that's
I'm
the
just-
point, yeah,
I
it's been
know.
the same for years.
is she gonna still wanna work for us?
He hasn't complained about anything, but increase it. What do you?
No, I'm just saying, I'm just
Well,
asking.
go
a
to
question. I don't have to know it.
1500, let's go to 1500.
No, what do you? No, Matt.
No?
PS.
Oh,
We're at
yes.
76,
Yeah.
5.
Oh, sorry.
So this
My bad.
person hasn't had a raise in how many years?
Give me a
Where do you
number.
wanna go?
That's why we're here.
He's getting 76.
You wanna go to 8?
I'd say eight and a
Okay.
half anyway,
Say 8.
8.5.
Okay.
Do I hear?
Do I hear?
How about 8.2? 8.1?
8.2.
Well, what's cost of living increase? Can we look at that?
1,
Who can do that math?
I can't do the math.
You looking back at my watch?
She can do that math.
It is 2.5%, right?
2.5%.
Yeah.
So if she's currently getting 76.50, what would that be? 78.41. But that's just against.
8,200 sounds good.
That, I was gonna say, that's just
Mhm.
against last year, if we consider she hasn't had a cost of living increase.
8,200 sounds good.
82, we'll go with.
We gotta remember that's only like a quarter of the year job too. Half a year job.
Mhm.
Yeah, 82.
Okay,
Where were we? Assessors
No, tax collector.
CE training.
stayed the same.
Okay.
Budget stayed the same.
Assessors.
Assessors,
That's
that,
'cause we
Wait a
Okay.
minute, what's budget PS? Who's that?
that would be, me.
Okay.
That's,
Congratulations.
no,
Okay,
decrease.
okay, got it.
That's for him doing the.
I know.
and
I'm
operating
reminded.
statement and all
Okay.
that stuff.
Thank you.
Not saying it, we start gonna just going with it.
Assessor salary.
Assessors.
So this, I know you had a question on this. This
Yeah.
increase is due to we did our 2024 budget last year. We approved our 2024 budget. We hired Sarah on to a higher salary than what was budgeted because that's the only way she'd take the job.
Right,
And we,
So we
took
have to
over
make
for
that
the-
adjustment.
for last year and this year.
Correct.
and we kind of agreed on it.
We did.
Yeah.
Well, because, yeah,
When we hired her, yeah.
we were backed into a corner.
Yeah.
So that's what that adjustment, and
Yeah.
that number also includes Linda. The secretary.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Assessor EQ, $2,000, that increased by 1,000. Sarah's bringing in some new equipment, new stuff.
mhm.
The CE. Do I have a misprint on this? You got 6,000 for last year. and this year, right?
6,000.
Yeah,
and this-
yeah,
Mine's in red.
yeah,
Doesn't mean
yeah,
it
don't
went
pay
down.
attention to the red.
Mhm.
No, it stayed the
Oh,
same.
did it? Okay.
Yep. Town clerk, PS stayed the same. Town clerk EQ went up to $2,500 due to your new programs, your licensing fees, and
Which have
all that good stuff.
brilliantly. Yeah.
Her CE increased from 3,500 to 7,500 to pay for her auditing of her books, which was done for the first time ever. Am I correct on that?
Yeah,
Attorney fees were increased due to our usage on our operating statement as of now, year to date. Would you like to know what those are year to date numbers?
Yes,
Okay,
it's attorney CE, right?
that would be attorney CE.
I mean, I have 32,992, but
You're correct. That's it,
Or to year to date?
year to date,
yeah,
yep.
year-to-date,
And the year's not over yet.
Yeah.
That includes his retainer.
Mhm.
Engineering fees, increased that to 15.
And,
We can, I would actually make a recommendation that we subtract that. We subtract 2,000 from that. Because we're pretty low on that right now,
Make it
but
13.
they're, I would bring it down to 13. Year to date on them is only 47.94.
Mhm.
However, they usually have a tendency to submit bills at the end of the year. So I would only drop that to 13.
all right. Mhm. Election.
Elections, CE. That stayed the same.
and that's just to pay our,
Polling machines and all that stuff, even though it's at the school, we gotta,
we have to pay for the machines.
yes.
And we pay for the personnel there too, right? The people that,
Aren't they
No, they're
volunteers?
No, they're volunteers.
oh,
If they're getting a paycheck, then something's wrong there.
Hmm.
There might be one person that oversees everything, that might be a paid person. Buildings. PS, that was Bobby Lee and that was Brenda. That I left the same at 43. Because
So-
we don't know what we're gonna do with that position yet.
who's Brenda?
Brenda Jackson, she
clean.
cleaned.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's still up for discussion, what we're gonna
Correct.
do about that?
Correct.
Okay, so Brenda is still with us?
Yes.
Um. So you wanna leave it at 43?
Yes.
Why is it under buildings?
Buildings and
Buildings and
grounds,
grounds.
yeah,
That's
Okay,
where we live.
it says
that's what-
buildings, not. grounds.
yeah, it's abbreviated.
Do you think that we need to think about, the new town hall and, excuse me, the community center / library building in regard to that?
Well, the new town hall's not gonna be done by this
Alright.
budget cycle.
This is just payroll.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. Seems like maybe this person's gonna be busy or this contractor, whatever. I don't know,
Yeah, but
and,
It won't be,
Yeah.
it won't be
Reflected,
this year,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
the town hall's not gonna be done.
and so are we pleased with the number of hours that we were able to dedicate what he did? Or do we need more?
I never knew what his hours were, to be honest with you, so I don't know.
He was busier during the summer than what he was during the winter.
Right, that would make sense.
He did odds and end project, well, at least when I was in office, I had him do odds and end projects, like he painted the community center. Which if we would have subbed that out with prevailing rate and everything, that probably would have cost us $20,000 right there alone.
Right, but you know how we had discussions about the town park and watering the barrels and blah, blah, blah. I mean, is that something that could be rolled into that job?
It could be. Yeah, I mean, throw, what do you wanna do with it? That's why we're here.
So I think we should increase it and,
Okay,
and give the person or contractor or whoever we're gonna hire a more responsibility.
well, that's what I'm asking.
So
What do you
what do you
wanna,
think the increase should be?
yeah,
Cause what was the individual's getting, like in.
Yeah, well, how is the breakdown?
Well, Bobby Lee's salary when he gave, originally he was collecting all of it when he was doing the cleaning and the buildings and grounds. Then he wanted to stop doing the cleaning. So Brenda got hired at an hourly rate. And Bobby Lee's salary dropped down to 28,000 just to do the mowing and the odd and then the maintenance.
So he was just 28. Where? Okay. But like if we're, so, you know, we got the bids for, well, not the bids that we wouldn't even consider for the community center / library, but we did get bids to do spring and fall cleanup, and that was around $2,500 each. Same thing with the park. So there's 5,000, there's 10,000. I don't know how much Charles ended up making for the couple months that he worked, but I feel like that should be thrown in.
Okay,
You know, because then maybe this person, or if it's a group of people that are hired, can take on some of those responsibilities.
so what figure are you looking for? That's what,
And so the issue with the
I'm
other.
looking for a discussion
Well,
on
that
this.
position,
I'm not looking. to
that
throw-
position never had a true job description. So.
So we need to start
Yeah,
there.
yeah, so we need to start there, like, if that's what you're looking for. I mean, I think that if it was at 28 and we wanna find somebody qualified to at least do what the extras, it has to be around 30 to 32.
that's about what it is.
Yeah,
When you take Brenda's hourly, Brenda does maybe 9 hours of a pay period.
So what she's getting is out of this chunk.
So she's at 23.50 an hour, so whatever the math, I don't,
But we don't know how many hours she worked.
about 9 hours of pay
9
period.
to 11 hours.
And that's every 2
2
weeks. That's every
Alright.
2 weeks.
So
So what is she making a year? About.
2,700.
Okay.
Maybe $10,000 at the most.
Oh,
So that leaves you about 33.
Mhm. So I think we should at least up it, the 10,000.
So you want to up it to 53?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And give the
That's
person,
fine.
give whoever this is gonna do this job more responsibility. So we don't have to nickel and dime all these other little projects.
okay, you're gonna be assigned.
The job description,
Yeah,
happy to do that.
Okay, but I am also in favor of giving that money to the highway department to hire somebody and have the highway take over all that
To manage
responsibility.
them.
Because we are not in a management position of, we are not here on a daily basis for them to check in with us and to do something. Compared to where, even Carl could use them on a off day to like hold a flag or hold a sign.
At that same time, that individual has to be available for any emergency calls, for fire
Okay.
alarms, any emergency calls at the library. They
This
have to-
person?
that person would have to cover that.
So,
That's what
but,
Bobby Lee did when the
uh-huh,
alarm company called. He went out when there was a problem with a lock. He went out when something got hit or something broke. Heating, air conditioning wise or anything. Bobby Lee went, Bobby Lee got a hold of contract, Bobby Lee did that.
so
So
are,
that all has to be in that
so part
description.
of the salary is the on-call portion of that
Yes,
job.
correct.
Okay,
so why couldn't it be assigned to the highway department? Because then that,
There's- There's nothing that says it can't be.
because then that person would have access to, the equipment, that might be needed or
well,
something
let's
like that.
discuss this with Carl on Thursday.
So Carl would be pretty much just in charge of the buildings and grounds, kind of in that, like the outside appearance. Right, the mowing is what I'm working,
For-
the outside
well,
stuff,
yeah.
I think should be dealt by the highway department, in my opinion, because they're there every day. They have all the equipment, they're outside.
Mhm.
Us to manage them, like, we're not there every day, like, you know what I mean, like, we drive
Right, so how
by.
are we gonna assign this person?
So we asked Carl if we transfer, I don't know if it's a part-time, like, I don't know if that's a full-time salary or not, like, with
It is.
what is it?
It is.
You know what
It
I
is.
mean? Like, so he could get an extra person on his crew,
Mm.
but he would have to take over some of those that would be a conversation that we would
I
have
think
to
we
have.
need
with
to
Carl.
have this conversation because he's likely to give us some input that would
But what are you
explain
doing
why
with
it
the
might not be a
interior
good
stuff?
idea.
Well, then Brenda
Right.
is still cleaning, right? Could we have like We can't just do a little bid job, like, you know what I mean?
Well, why
Like,
can't this person do that also? It's just not, it's just an
Which,
additional,
that's, yeah, that's.
but it
fine.
can still have it under the highway department.
Yeah, I don't. I just don't think we should be managing this person ever since, so this is the one,
agree,
but this
and it
is
should
the
be
one
highway.
position since I've been in, like, like, I don't get why we, like, I feel it's a highway.
Which is perfectly fine, but they
Yeah.
have to, if there's a problem, they have to.
I think in the past, there were even some weird little issues with the mower and the highway, because they had to use some highway equipment or something because the mower broke down. I forget what the deal was.
No, we have two.
So if
we
the-
bought
if
This
it's
is
the
going back a
highway-
ways though, and this would eliminate some potential conflicts like that by having him under Carl.
And if it's under Carl, the person can still do the on-call stuff. Right? If that's what their job description is.
Yeah, it would have to be under their job description because the way that overtime works over there is done by seniority. So it had to be under that individual.
Oh, okay.
It would have to be under that individual.
I'll talk to Carl about this and I'll tell him about that little caveat. But it would be 53, he would, because I mean, I think he might be excited at that prospect, just. next-
Well, no, he wouldn't have 53. He'd have
No, because some of those
43.
Brenda's,
40, oh,
yeah, it'd be like 43, yeah.
What we just talked about raising it.
To
We did.
53.
To 53, but Brenda would take.
Well,
So that's
why do I have 50? Raise it to 50.
No,
Well, we
no,
raised it to
50.
53, but then still of that salary, Brenda's still taking some.
Yeah.
so it's 53.
Minus Brenda.
And if you change it, but if you change them over to the highway, it would be an hourly rate. It's not a salary job.
It can't be.
I would not
Because,
even
yeah,
go there. Don't even go
Because
there.
then we would have
Why?
every other, we would
Just a
have every
question.
other
No,
person in
no.
the highway department. would
Yeah.
wanna go
Oh,
to
okay. I
salary.
got it.
Yeah, they're all hourly right now. You do not want.
So, and then
You
are
do
you
not-
saying that Brenda would still,
Stay at hourly. Brenda's
right,
hourly.
and,
She
and who,
chose to be
and
hourly.
would she be under who? The highway department?
No,
Or
she's
you.
still here.
Okay. Got it.
Building CD stayed at 115,
Is that,
115,000.
is that,
Maintenance, stuff around here. Any expenses? Say we were gonna redo the porch and Bobby Lee's position was gonna redo the porch, it would come out of there.
in 2023, it was 118. 2024, so far, it's 83 and change,
You mean actual?
actual,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, but you never know what's gonna, like, this is
Right.
just in case something happens, it doesn't put us.
What'd you have right now?
83.
Right now you're at 107.
Okay, 107.
107,
Yeah.
676.93. We got 6.4% of that left.
Okay, so 115 seems good.
Central print mail. I upped that to 7,000 because of our operating statement. We're approximately 8,000 right now. So
So 7.
it's right now, you want actual?
Yeah,
Actual right now is $8,046.78. I do believe some of this has your new mail machine in
Yeah.
it.
number again.
We had a-
8046.
8046.
0.78.
I don't need to change.
We had upgraded the machine to like an IO something kind of system, and postage just keeps going up. I just got a notice on the machine that
Not
it's
expecting
gonna go up again.
next year that 7 won't be enough.
She's
Or-
not gonna have to buy a new machine. So we're hoping even though postage is going up,
No soup for you.
so projection is
7.
7.
7, okay.
Yep.
Next item. Process.
Data processing equipment stayed at 2,000.
And that's basically Corinna.
We're zeroed out right now. That has anything to do with you. that has to do with Madeline's.
Mhm.
Any of Corinna's equipment, basically, software. Well, I'm sorry, the EQ is for the equipment, the processing CE is the software.
Mm.
Sorry about that. Year to date on that, I know Madeline upgraded, we got the online, payment,
Mhm.
and Corinna had to update her, uh, processing book. So rate year to date, I have 12,591. And I'm proposing 11. That should be a little bit lower next year, so that's why I'm proposing the 11,000.
Okay.
Unallocated insurance. I suggest we take
What
that,
is that?
okay. Unallocated insurance would be our insurance provider for like our cyber insurance, our property insurance, that's all under the unallocated insurance. Our vehicle insurance,
What about the beach, the camp?
that's
All
all part
that?
of our blanket policy. Correct,
It's a part of this.
yes,
All right.
yes. So year to date is 58,269. I'm proposing actually, we subtract 1,000 from my $64,000 sum.
Make it 63.
Yes. Is everybody good with that?
Yes.
Mhm.
Mhm.
When do we know with our insurance? Do we have to redo anything at the beginning of the year or no?
Beginning of the year, it should be coming up.
Right away.
Actually, our,
knows like April.
yeah,
It's
that's what, yeah, I was
April.
just gonna say that. It's a weird time.
That's what I always, you just don't know.
I believe our workman's comp is the one that comes up first. Our municipality annual dues, that stayed the same at 2,000. That's the Association of Towns and my Supervisors and Mayors Association. MTA commuter tax, 0. Contingency stayed at 30.
Let's, explain a little bit about.
Contingency, it's if we run short, it comes out of the contingency account, it's an emergency.
It's a buffer for us
Yes.
in case we have a big expense. We have a line item that we can take it from.
Any questions?
No.
You good?
No.
All right, police salaries. Increased to 115. We hired another guy. And, they asked for more, but that seemed like a more reasonable number.
And that's for PS.
Yes, that's payroll.
Yeah.
That's also gonna cover, increases in salary. If we give them any.
Term. Is constable EQ.
Hired somebody
Any
new, so we gotta buy
question?
new equipment, right?
No.
Is that what the
No.
EQ went up?
Are we good with the PS?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So the EQ equipment, the equipment and the CE are basically almost similar hand in hand wise. Because we purchased all the new cameras, the body cameras, the vehicle cameras and everything.
Well,
They
okay.
also come with a subscription fee. For maintenance, software updates and all that, so. That covers their training as well. They need their TASER 10 training, which they just received, their fire instruction training.
So this is how many police officers
We have
are we at?
five now? 6, we have 6.
And they're working how many hours?
That varies month by month. They're
Yeah.
Covering approximately, what do they average, about
40,
33,
yeah,
40
like 40
shift.
hours. yeah,
40 shifts.
It's always on the
Combined,
thing.
right,
Yeah,
combined. I'm
combined.
just trying to, wrap my head around this cost.
If we have to contract out with the sheriff's department, which we would have to do, it's a lot more money.
It's around $200 a car.
Right,
hour.
no,
Yeah,
I'm not, I'm not suggesting that,
Okay.
I just wanna understand it, and I wanna understand how accessible they are to us and on an hourly, daily basis.
When would we contract out with the sheriffs? If we don't have coverage?
It would be if we don't have.
If we don't have a police force.
Yeah, police force, and it also helps out that we have like a station that they
For
can
state
use. Yeah, well, and the sheriffs use the highway garage.
Not
right?
anymore.
Not anymore.
No,
Does the state police still use that?
no.
Here.
They
Down
use
there.
here.
Okay.
They park over there, but they work out of down here.
Yeah, they'll
Okay.
park their
That's
vehicle
why I
on the
said
highway,
that was
yeah,
the-
yep. Any questions,
No.
changes you wanna make?
So, the PS only includes the police officers. There's no dispatch.
No. Nope. That's all 6 of them.
Right. And I wonder why we don't have a dispatch,
Cause it's dispatched to the New York State Police
911.
Mhm.
and the New York State Police, but their main
Right.
dispatch is the New York State Police.
Okay.
It used to be the sheriff's office
Yeah, I
when they
thought it was
switched this, they switched to the state police. So, 5 years ago.
Mhm. Are we on equipment?
I think we hit that all together, their
Okay.
equipment and their training.
And then, right,
So I think
And
now
now
we're
we're
down
on
to
traffic.
traffic
Traffic
control.
control. $4,000,
and that's.
any
police.
special event.
Yeah.
Yep, yep. Dog control,
Good, well,
dog control. We upped to 6,000. That's his salary. His CE. Up to 3,000 for equipment.
This is for rich planners.
That is correct.
Do we have any revenue from dog control because we're using because we're.
Yep, we do have a
Was that
revenue, but,
reflected? I don't remember.
I don't
it was
recall
not
seeing it.
reflected in our, because that's gonna be hard to project.
Yeah,
And
but
it's
we did,
new.
what,
it's
do we
new.
have year to date on it at least? Cause we, other towns
That's
have
under,
used,
that was being put in the unclassified,
okay.
that was part of the unclassified.
Oh, okay.
There, that's a good example of unclassified.
Some classified dogs.
I believe Stanfordville we hit twice,
Yeah,
Ankrum we hit once, and yeah. Safety inspection. That's Eddie,
Yes, that's right.
and he's really only officially half-time, right?
he's part-time now.
So half, 20 hours a week.
He's here he's here
4 hours a week,
4 hours a week.
but he comes in almost daily.
Does on-site inspections.
Right, right,
and,
yeah, yeah. I'm just trying to,
He does Saturdays too, right?
Yep, so
Yes.
it's Wednesdays and Saturdays.
and do we feel like, that's enough hours dedicated from that, or?
Well, he also makes, if you call and leave a message or get a hold of him, he makes special appointment. That's just his office hours where he'll be here.
Right,
He does more work
He
in
actually
report
does more
than in
work.
office hours.
I know that's my point, is it, is he overworked? It's my point. It's a question, that's all.
Yeah, I can't imagine he's overworked with that salary. I mean,
Okay,
Um,
all right, see,
CE, that's his, equipment training. That went up $1,000. Registry vital signs statistics CE, that's Madeline's line item. That stayed the same. Superintendent of highway, that's, Carl, and the PS is Carl and, Karen, his secretary.
Mhm.
That's increased to, give Carl a raise this year.
And not Karen,
Karen got a raise last year. they asked for a raise, yes, it is figured in there.
Great.
Okay. That's Carl's training budget, 2,000, superintendent of highway CE, that stayed the same. Brush and weeds,
What's brushing?
pay, cut and brush. And
By the highway department,
it's all highway.
Like the side.
This
of
is
the
all, you're in
road.
the highway line right now.
right, so we have a person dedicated to that,
No, that's just where the money comes out of that line when they do that job.
because they're paid hourly.
Yes,
Got it.
everything's broken down in,
Mhm. In
in the
task,
highway.
in their task. Side,
Sidewalks.
You're looking to repair some, that's why. you
We're-
went up, right?
Correct. There's some along the cemetery and stuff that are in need of repair.
you
So
sure
like the
that's
ones in
enough?
town. No, we can add more to that. It's not gonna be, it might just touch a little bit of edge for repair wise. Replacements are a whole different ballgame.
Mhm.
Replacements, you're not gonna be able to put enough in there for a long section of sidewalks.
I mean, I would like to even like think to like, and get us a sidewalk all the way down to the lake, you know, at one point and like. Even just. You know, like Poplar, you know, a lot of people walk down that,
Yep.
kids walk down that.
A lot of people walk down
Mhm.
there.
So,
Mhm.
you know, I wouldn't
And it
mind
might,
looking into.
it might
you know,
persuade them not to walk in the road. In the middle of the road.
Or even like the sidewalk, like just ends at the height, you know what I mean? Like even going a little bit further for the people who live on that side of town if they wanted to walk into town, so.
Mhm. Mhm.
Just for future, I wouldn't mind seeing more money, or like, I know that would be an engineering study and all that before, like, we could do anything like that. Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, I think that that would
and
be
it-
a,
I mean,
a
that
nice
should be-
thing to see, so.
And that should be something that we, look to seek some sort of grant.
But I got an idea.
The big,
Let's get our town hall built first
I got you, I'm with
before
you.
we start.
Sidewalk?
Sidewalks, yeah.
the big problem with those are the county and the state DOT, because we're still waiting on stuff for the sidewalks next to the pharmacy.
What are we waiting for?
Approvals.
Hmm.
All the stuff was drawn up and forwarded over from our engineer in the town.
A long time ago? or-
Yeah, it's been a while. It's
To
been
the-
about
To
2 months.
DOT?
New York State DOT and the county DOT have to
Right.
be involved because it's at the intersection,
Of the state
and a state and a county.
county road, man.
Right,
Good
right.
Lord, one hand. Shoot the other.
Social Services Administration.
Isn't that a grant, that sidewalk?
Yes,
When's it
and
gonna
it's
run
still
out?
next year. So we have this year that it has to be done.
Was it issued from the county?
No,
The
it was a
grant?
state grant.
The state grant. Are they kept informed about our problem with it?
Correct.
Right.
I was actually about 3 months ago. I got an email from them in regards to that. Veteran services.
Social services.
Social
Administration.
services,
Before it was 0.
What is it?
yeah, that's a misprint, I think. Put that on the wrong line.
That's zeroed out.
Zero that out. Yeah.
What is it, like, what is social service?
I mean, I know what it is. I don't know what it is
Yeah.
in Pine Plains.
Yeah, but like for.
I know,
other,
it's
like,
been 0 the last 2 years, that's a, we've never used that line item. That gets subtracted out.
What would it be used for?
That's what I was asking.
Your guess is just mine, because we never used it.
Maybe we need to use that.
Maybe we just need to take it out of the budget. If
Well, maybe
don't,
we need to
if-
understand what it is and use it. I mean, in my world, my previous world, there are people that need some kind of social service assistance, and there are some people in Pine Plains that may take advantage of something that, am I completely off base? Is that what it is?
If that's what it is, then we should keep it.
Yeah. So that we have people, I mean, would it offer people services instead of taxing our police department or somebody else that's trying to help somebody that is in crisis or in need?
Sarah, do you?
She's
Oh,
gone.
she's gone.
We bored her to tears. That's
I
hard to
can call
do.
her tomorrow and ask her.
I'm
She
sure
already
she remembers what that is, because it's been zeroed out. All right, we're gonna put quick question mark next time.
Okay,
We'll find out what that line item is. Veteran Services, that's the VFW and the American Legion, the check that we give them every year. Programs from the
So
aging,
that's just a basic donation.
yes, correct. 2,000 each. It's basically for anything they need. Like equipment wise, anything. But you can call it a donation, yes. Because they can use it however they see fit. You get a check at the beginning of the year and
VFW, and what was the other one?
American Legion.
Do we have any follow-up on that? See what they do with it, or is it just?
No,
so it is in
Okay.
essence a donation.
It's a non-monitored donation.
programs for the aging. That's for.
There's
any
more of us.
equipment.
Well, more and
It's
more
for
of us.
The CE can be used for any equipment, any games or anything like that. They also have under adult recreation, those two line items can be combined. Rec director salary. $11,000.
So, I had a conversation with Brian Coons, he wasn't able to, I don't know, and he said that he did meet with you,
He sent me over a,
or, yeah. Let's see. Okay, I'm ready. So rec director salary,
yep,
No recommended
that's
11,000.
for
Brian.
increase. It's the same as last year.
it was increased the previous year 1,000.
Mhm.
Oh, right, yes.
The assistant rec director stayed the same. Cause that got
So-
increased last year.
What Brian is saying is that he would like to see the assistant rec director position not funded and instead use that money toward the camp and beach program, his lifeguards, camp counselors, beach director, camp director,
What does he mean by not funded? Don't pay a salary to anybody?
No, eliminate that.
eliminate the
Eliminate the
position.
position, okay.
Because he feels that the beach workers and camp counselors need an increase and the camp director and the assistant camp director need increases. And that money could go toward that, is what he's saying. Did he have that conversation with you?
No, this is the first I'm hearing about this part.
I think so the example that he gave me was that he had there was a lifeguard, maybe it was a head lifeguard that also had to act as the aquatics director because there was not an aquatics director hired by the camp program, and I guess that's a regulation. So,
Yes, we gave him a stipend for that.
right, but so he's saying, let's be proactive about that and offer a higher salary to that position. And also, he said that our lifeguard salaries are not competitive with the local communities. And even though, he said, we have lifeguards that do return because they're kids that live in our town and stuff like that. We should be more, commensurate with the other lifeguard salaries in the surrounding areas.
So he wants to
Maybe
make it
attract-
more competitive.
Yep.
Yeah, nice.
No problem. Every salary that we've approved was per the recommendation of the beach director. That's why those salaries were approved for them.
Were they increased?
Yes.
Okay. So I guess he's saying, to also parlay that 4,000.
So what do you guys want to do as far as that position first?
I mean, it's, in my opinion, I think it goes right to the rec director. If the rec director doesn't think he needs an assistant,
Then
Okay.
you know what I
That's
mean?
what it-
And he wants
use
to
that.
roll that into his
Just asking what
budget.
you want, okay?
Yeah.
That's just my
I'm-
opinion, like if,
It's his call.
yeah, it's
So
his
we're getting
budget.
rid of that, but we're putting the money up to the,
But we shouldn't strike it from the line because if they're like. From the budget, it could be zero,
just move
but
it
like,
right up to the
yeah, if, like
rec
Brian leaves,
directors.
you know what I mean? Like that next rec director should have the, like,
Okay.
if they want an assistant, like, to have it, but if he doesn't want one, like. I don't think we need to force him to have it.
Alright, so the rec beach director. We up to 6,000.
What are we doing about the assistant?
We eliminated
We're going
that
zero.
4,000.
So
We're
Yep.
going zero.
Do you guys want me to sign your things? Are you here for the high school meeting? Yeah. I can sign your thing,
You
just cause you
suffered
guys
enough.
got school tomorrow, right? Yeah, I'll sign it.
Unless you're really dying to stay.
You picked the worst possible night, to come to a meeting.
You can get that together.
Sign that, yeah. Signature of contact person, I guess that's me.
I think it's you.
I mean, you guys heard one line by line. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, yeah. Good call on that.
Well, I knew, yeah.
So back to what we were doing here with the rec director,
We're just zeroing out that 4,000.
wait a second, I gotta get back, yeah, I crossed that off, I crossed off assistant rec director and the 4,000. And we're taking that 4,000 and putting it where?
We haven't gotten there yet.
Okay,
And we're not
Oh.
crossing off that line, we're just making it zero.
Making it zero.
It
And
was,
either
it was
way,
the
it's-
same, it was the same line as, it's still the 7020.1.
Oh,
It's the same line. There's no subline to it.
So we could tell Brian about that and in the next few, before the next one, Brian can review that within the rec, right?
do we just up
You
his
you can just
line?
appoint another,
No, I'm just saying like in any of these, like, or it doesn't matter, like, cause if he wants to add more to one of these, could we?
we're gonna add it right now.
All right.
Well,
right
so
to
we'll
the-
put it in
yeah.
the rec director's salaries.
No.
and
No, to the
No.
beach salaries, right? Or camp,
Let's continue on.
yeah.
it- Okay,
Rec beach director. We up that to 6,000. Parks, CE stayed at 4,000. Okay, here's where you get into the
summer.
rec summer camp. Now this, the PS for the summer camp, the top one. The 7140.1, the first one,
Yeah,
that is the salary of the camp director. So that went up 1,000.
and I think that he's saying that should be increased.
It was by 1,000.
it was by 1,000,
Right.
it was 6,000, now it went up to 7,000. That's a
Because
17% increase.
Okay.
where's the
Here's-
assistant? rec
Here's
director?
where here's where you wanna increase on the rec summer camp.
Okay,
That's the staff.
The the second.
That's where you wanna increase
So put the 4,000 there,
and put the 4,000 there.
So
so
that's
now
40.
40,000.
That is correct.
okay,
The assistant camp director gets hired out of that. It's just a title.
Okay,
in-house.
I wasn't sure if we needed one. Okay.
Rec EQ is the equipment, 25 stayed the same. Summer camp. EQ is 1,000. That stayed the same. A lot of their stuff is donated as far as puzzles, games, coloring books and everything. Now here's the Rec CE. This is his program money. So do we want to make any increases to this?
30,000.
Yes.
what do you mean programming?
So this is if they made money, which they did. If
Mhm,
we want to
mhm.
reinvest into the camp, This
Right.
is where we reinvest.
This is for the
Okay.
rec.
Oh,
is
oh,
rec.
this is rec,
This is
not camp.
the sports programs, if they're
So-
replacing balls.
Okay,
I would-
it's not summer.
No, it's not summer
Okay,
camp.
okay.
I would like to see this line increased either way, just because,
Okay,
in case they, I
That's
know that he
what
wants to
we're
buy
here.
new soccer nets. I don't know if
Yep.
it's gonna happen this year or next, but
It
that.
was
comes
supposed to
with soccer-
happen this year.
But that comes with soccer
It was
balls.
supposed to happen this year. He said that in the meeting. Yeah. That's,
Well, he still has time.
Hmm.
Him and I talked about.
does
it
he have
the
any
other
budget
day.
left?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
it's fine.
So what are we, what is this
Um,
going up to?
41.7% of his budget as well.
With 2 months ago, so we're good.
Okay.
So rec CE doesn't need to go up.
Doesn't need to, but I mean, it's invested in
I
our
would
sports.
probably increase a couple $1,000s into this.
32.
32.
32.5.
32.
Well, they're not doing 32, but 33.
32.
Um,
That'll be
Okay,
That gives
here's
him-
the summer camp one.
that gives him some, playroom stuff, older stuff breaking, replacement, whatnot.
So can we move this next one to 10,000? Cause this is for the
This is-
camp,
Summer camp.
like that's for like the water
Equipment.
slide,
Yep.
just like that
Yep.
stuff, right? The fun stuff.
Yep.
And I mean, they make money, so I think we should give, and it's been at 7,000 for the last one, so
What do you
I would
wanna-
like to go at least 9. An extra
Yep.
2,000, like,
Yep. I'm
We
good
can
with
make
that.
it 9 or we wanna go
That's-
10?
I'm good with that.
9?
You're saying 10?
No, 9.
oh, I
Okay.
was gonna.
I work
agree
with
Bob.
9.
I'm gonna have my vote, Bob.
Rec CE, rec, sponsors, banners.
I thought that was a revenue.
No, this isn't income, this is
We
actually
have to
what we
buy
put
the
out, we have
banners.
to
Okay.
buy.
That's the hometown hero banners.
Okay, thank you.
So we're leaving that the same. Each,
Beach sellers. Here's where you, here's
This
where you
one
go.
always gets us, cause minimum wage always goes up. Should we just try to up it just so we're on
You
the
have,
safe
no,
side?
we
So-
have to because you're gonna increase on the lifeguard. Lifeguards are paid out of beach salary.
So 33.
We have to watch this also, though, if it's raining out and the beach is closed, the lifeguards don't need to be there.
So we get money back. Well, it doesn't spend it all, right?
Right, because they only get paid when they work.
So do you want to
Correct,
go
but they
33,
sat there
34?
before it
How much
rained,
money
so-
do you think it's extra?
Well,
33?
hang on a second, I'll tell you right now, give me a second. Relax.
Well, and including that stipend that the one guy had to get.
They're actually under in their salaries right now. So I would, to be a safe number, I'd be at 33.
Yeah.
That would cover.
so it's 33.
Um. Beach equipment, their CE line item. Okay, so this is something that has to be talked about. They were 125.5% over this year in the budget.
And that's just for like sand, like that's the equipment?
Yes, that's the equipment line item. That also covers their field trips.
Wait a minute,
Would be
I'm
the-
looking at CE.
Yes,
Why would
it's
that?
contractual.
Okay, even though it's equipment, you're saying it's sand is not equipment. Sand.
Well, no, I thought it was equipment, like I didn't know like what, I
No.
thought that the.
All right, so what did
camps-
they pay for it?
Is this for the camp or is this for the rec?
This is beaches.
Beach.
Beach,
This is the beach salaries, the beach summer, the beach.
so not the camp, just the beach.
We're on
correct.
beach.
We're on beach.
So the beach, but hold on, the beach has field trips?
Yes.
Just the beach?
Yes,
Yeah,
That the camp did go on this
It's
year, like they went to
because they
Zoom
were short
Bloom
breaks
and they
and
hiked with
stuff, yes.
alpacas. And didn't they go to our Renegades game?
Well, if that's stuff for kids, I mean, let's go to 7,000.
so, but what did they spend?
no, they spent 125.5% over.
Which is what number?
Oh, I'm sorry.
7,000.
They spent year to date,
budgeted
I'm
five.
sorry about that. Year to date amount spent was $11,272.
So let's go to 10,000. And hope we don't go over, right? I mean, it's a little less, but is that what it was the year before? You don't have that.
How much they
I
spend
don't have
last
year
year.
to date net last year.
Well, if they spent 11,000,
And we're at
We
6,
should-
we should
we
at
should
least
go
go to
to
10.
11. Well,
Yeah,
why wouldn't
yeah,
we
let's
go-
go to, I mean, it makes
why wouldn't we
sense,
go to
because we
11?
don't wanna cut the kids.
we don't wanna say you're gonna do less next year.
I agree.
So,
Oh,
CE 11? Is that what we said?
Yes.
7230, yep. All right. Library is what it is, historian. CE, this is the Little Nine Partners that we pay for the Little Nine Partners to be our historians.
Library CE.
Library is what it is. It's not- We have nothing
Oh,
on that.
historian. Yeah,
Yes.
library is 0, right?
No,
No,
library
it's
is
one-
Where are we?
this.
166
Yeah, we have
nine.
no say in that, cause that's what they
Correct.
voted, they put that on the ballot
But
last
that
week.
still stays on our budget.
Still
line.
have to collect
yes.
the tax.
Right, okay. Alright, so that's there. So we're on historian CE,
That'd be correct.
and you said. what?
That's Little Nine
700.
Partners.
Okay.
Celebrations, subtract 5 from that.
5,000?
Yep.
So celebration,
Goes from 10 to 5.
And that is,
Community day.
Community day, community outreach, any kind of town event that we have. That the town sponsors.
fireworks.
Yes, that would be that line.
Yeah, but 5,000 is not enough for fireworks, neither is 10. So how do we do that?
Do we keep it at 10 and we wanna keep the fireworks? Or
I
we
don't
wanna
wanna
go-
keep the
then-
fireworks.
Then let's lower it, and I'm
I'm
pretty
just
much
saying-
sure that the fireworks probably are gonna
I'm
happen
getting
next year.
I'm getting a lot,
Yeah, so let's just take it back down to 5
I'm
and.
getting a lot of negative feedback about fireworks.
I'm getting a lot of positive.
I was gonna say,
feedback, so-
I've been getting a little bit of both as well, but I saw a lot of people out there watching them, and that's what's nice to see.
So that's going down to 5.
And so moving
Lost.
forward, we would, since
Or
it was a
above
pretty
adult recreation
controversial
cover.
topic, moving forward on that, we would have discussion before the fireworks were decided upon. And discussion on what budget line it comes out of and stuff like that, because that's what I'm, that's only one piece of what I'm hearing. Is about where the money came from and that it was not done in a transparent way and that, that there should be certainly discussion among the board members about the intention of doing fireworks or anything for that matter. Because the fireworks happened and people said to me personally, what do you mean we're spending $20,000? I was like, well, I don't know. I showed up at a town board meeting and they voted for it. So my whole thing is that there needs to be more transparency and more participation about something like that, so that when I'm asked that question and I'm approached, I know how to respond, not instead of saying, I don't know anything about fireworks. We digress, but I think it's an important topic. And there was silence among the crowd.
Just,
So
yeah,
it came out of celebration, it came out of recreation without the recreation director knowing it, and then it came out of general fund, which was, like to me, I don't know what that is. But, I don't know exactly where that came from. But, so I'm asking about this in the regard to celebration.
It's taken out. 5.
so it's down to
It's down,
5,000, all right.
So can you respond to my questions about how I'm supposed to respond to, our community? when approached. And what can we
Okay.
do in the future to make sure people are comfortable with the way the tax dollars are being spent?
We talked about it the previous year, we set it up the previous year that we were gonna continue doing that.
Yes, we did. We said that the town did like the fireworks and at the last budget meeting, that money would be allocated to the fireworks from last year.
And, but there was not
It wasn't.
$15,000.
Wasn't even.
Wasn't
15, yeah.
I don't think we, yeah, I don't think we ever cleared,
A line, there was not a line for it. I mean, if there was a line for it, maybe that would be easier to explain. If there was a survey done about how people feel about their tax dollars being spent on such an activity, that would help us to make a decision.
But we eliminated them next year,
Yeah,
not doing fireworks next year.
Fair enough.
and your reasoning is? Too much conflict, too much,
No, cause I was the one who had to do most of the work with the cleanup and everything. I'm just not doing it
okay,
unless someone else wants to take that on or anything.
okay, well, I mean,
I've cleaned up
I think-
after them the last 2 years.
yeah, well, that's a
So-
reason not to do them, but I think that people were a little bit concerned about the cost. So,
Well, a lot of people are also under the assumption, which I'm not gonna get an argument, that someone got it in their head that we only paid $5,000 the year before, which was not the
Not
case.
correct.
that's not
We
correct.
paid 15,000, and that's what the
Documented.
newspaper came to me in regards to that they only paid 5,000. And it wasn't a pleasant conversation that I had with the newspaper in regards to it, because they kept on insisting that it was $5,000 that we
Well,
paid.
Well, I
I don't
think
know who.
the
we're
people that
voting
are
at
sitting at-
Because
the people that
So-
are sitting at this table know that that's not true.
that's not true, that was 15.
But can we get through the rest of this? We made that. We're only halfway done.
Not even.
Adult
So
recreation,
we took that, we subtracted that 5,000 from that celebration.
Okay,
Adult recreation went up to the 10,000. They want to do more bus trips. Hopefully next time they don't miss their cruise.
Hudson River Cruise?
Yeah,
No, it was down the city.
Oh,
They got a different one. It was good.
zoning, PS is Tricia.
Mhm.
That stayed the same.
we
Oh.
shouldn't give Tricia an.
Trish just got an
You got a
increase
raise 2 years ago, right?
last year.
But, well, it's not
It's not
reflected here.
reflected here because I show 7,000 across the board, 23,
She's
24.
hourly.
Oh,
That
Okay.
dollar amount covers her salary.
okay.
Zoning CE. Their training stayed at 2,500. They're within the operating statement. Planning. That went from 4 to 5,000. That is also Tricia
Right,
salary. Planning CE, the first one zeroed out. It's a continuous number. If you look 8020.4, they're the same thing. Next one down. That is 6,000, stayed the same. Garbage. This needed a incredible increase. Why? I'm still scratching my head on it.
what garbage?
Any garbage in town or dumpsters or, between us, highway,
Oh,
the cans at the beach, cans at the recreation and everything.
So we
Well-
went from 3,500 to 5,000.
Yep,
My paperwork shows that in 23 it was 5,000. Is that a
yep, we were
misprint?
loaded, no, we were low the year before. But here's the big kicker. The year-to-date amount is $10,169.
What happened?
I think Welch's rates all went up.
Welch's rates all went up.
That's double.
But also in this is included our, second community day, community dump day that we did. So that's why it's such a big increase. But
I thought he donated that.
he donates the dumpsters.
We have to
We have to
pay,
pay for
for
the
the-
trash.
so we get paid by the way.
So the donates, the trash is donated, or the dumpsters are
Dumpsters are
donated, but the
donated.
trash is not. So I got a mark on here. I feel the community loved the two days. Or the two different
Mhm.
days, because we did one in the spring, we did one in the fall. So the question is, do we want to keep that up? And if so, we're gonna increase this number.
It helps to keep the community clean, because when people don't have this feature available to them, that's when you start seeing stuff appearing on the sides of the roads
Correct.
and down
Yeah.
dirt roads.
Correct.
Down in like,
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
12,000 is reasonable.
wow.
I mean, if we're gonna do it twice a year,
I would actually. I would probably only put it at 10.
we gotta hope that people got rid of all their stuff the year before, right? It gets a little
I would
less
only-
every year, so.
Well, this last time that we just did it, we filled 4 big dumpsters, like big
Go with
dumpsters.
Go with them. Do we wanna come up with those dates now so people can plan?
I was hoping maybe Janine would help us figure out how to mail out flyers to Pine Plains residents that would say, here's your ticket, you can come to the dump.
I can do that. I can help you figure that out. So, and you mean so that they, number one, know the date, and number two, only Pine Plains residents. Do you think
Yeah,
people that are
like-
not Pine Plains residents are taking advantage of this?
No,
Okay,
I just know Gallatin does, they send out like a like a neon colored yellow paper that's just to Gallatin residents. And it says like what they can bring and the times and the date, and they have
Yeah.
to bring that with them when they come.
I don't think
something-
that,
But I think
I don't
it
think
is
that's gonna work.
beneficial.
I don't think that's gonna work though, as far as bringing that with you when you come.
I mean, I feel that pretty much somebody from the town board or the highway department's down there most of the time, and we pretty much know who's.
Well,
Yeah.
the last 2 times it's been Carl and I the whole time.
Yeah, so you guys pretty
So-
much know, yeah.
I think it's a great program.
So we upped that to 10.
Yeah.
All right, beautification. Went from 3 to 5.
So the question about that is, from the committee is what will be included, you know, in there, in that figure, like we talked about redefining the building PS role. So will some of the spring and fall cleanup that happens in the park move over to that? So they don't have to pay for that to happen? Will
Well, what is
the person that watered the barrels, I don't know if that came out of their budget, you know,
No,
so,
it did not.
okay, so that's a question that the beautification committee would have. And the beautification committee wants to do things more than just plant flowers in the barrels, you know, they're talking about seeking programs to maybe, make the facades of, make the facades of buildings look nicer. Address some of the vacant areas that are in the town, seek to get donations and grants to do that kind of thing. So they want to do more than flowers and barrels.
But I mean, if this facades on buildings, should the town, why does the town, like, that budget shouldn't come out of their budget to fix it?
No, well-
You know what I mean, like, cause the flowers, they should be paying for the flowers.
Which it does. right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, so like, what else are they looking to
Well,
buy,
the
like,
town-
you know what I mean,
The
like,
town park, a garbage and recycling disposal unit in the town park.
well, we talked about that with Kelsey, like, where if I think
We
we
have talked
should,
about
yeah,
that for
but.
months.
Yeah, but I think
Well,
that we
we'll put
should,
the
but
one that's
that's,
up there.
Yeah, isn't
We'll
there
put the
a
one that's up
receptacle
there.
there?
yeah, but that shouldn't.
It's garbage and it's from, where's it from? It came from somewhere else.
Who's responsible to empty that?
Exactly.
And who?
Well, who
yeah,
put it there?
So I know that, oh shoot, I do know the answer to this question. It came from another location, I can't remember. Did it come from the parking lot? I don't know, but anyway, it's only garbage. And there really should be, you know, the committee feels there should be a garbage, one of those combination garbage and recycling bins. that have a cover, so it doesn't get rained on and, you know, disgusting. And that, yes, then who empties it? Could it be this new line that maybe is gonna be moved over to the highway department? I don't know. But if the beautification committee is gonna do something more than flowers in barrels, do we need new? You know, not barrels, do we need some sort of new planters? The barrels, you know, some of them need to be replaced or something like that. So I guess the question is, what's gonna come out of there?
I mean, the plant, like, I don't know, like the plants, like what? They shouldn't be like hiring contract, like, you know what I mean? Like, it shouldn't be like 4 gardeners and stuff like that, cause the town should cover that, like, it should only be the plants. Like, what
It
else? I
should,
don't
it
know,
should
like,
basically be the material.
cause even if it's
Yeah.
a garbage
Yeah.
Right.
can, like, we should buy the garbage can for the beautification committee, like, I don't think that needs to
And
get.
it's,
Well,
okay, all right, so
Well,
there's.
we're buying it regardless, it's coming out, yes, we're buying it regardless.
Yeah,
Think about
But
it.
if you know, out of a $5,000 budget, that's gonna shoot half of it.
what, a garbage can?
A garbage? can?
Yeah.
What kind of garbage can are you buying? No way.
No,
Have you looked at them? The
yeah,
municipal ones, they cost the combination recycling and garbage for municipal use. They cost about $2,000 and change.
I don't think we need to put them in the center of town.
That's an expensive garbage can.
It is. And that's what they cost. I mean, you know, I've looked at garbage cans, okay, online, I confess, I've looked at garbage cans.
Sorry.
I've looked at
I-
garbage cans in towns that I go to now, cause I wanna see what garbage cans look like in other towns. So. It's great that it's increased to 5. I think that the beautification committee can live with that.
What else can I
So kind of on the same, though, note maybe, is the community garden. The community garden would like to have some support from the town because they supply, vegetables and produce and things like that to Willow Roots and others in town that can benefit from that sort of thing. So can there be some sort of budget line that would address that? And what budget line would that be?
So are you like paying for the seeds for them to start or paying for somebody to work the garden?
Not paying for somebody to work the garden, it's all volunteers.
Oh, then I have no problem paying for seeds and stuff
Well,
like
the
that. to
seeds
start.
can just come out of buildings. That can
Okay,
come out of the buildings.
Okay.
You're
And
talking about
what
this
about-
one, correct? Right
yeah,
here.
yeah.
That's-
mulch,
it's on our
soil.
property.
they get mulch from the highway.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. And they've also talked about wanting a shed.
okay.
So you're talking about a shed for here.
Yeah,
So then that begs to ask the question, if we're building a new town hall, we're not going to have space for a garden.
right. So
So
the garden
you-
maybe would live here anyway. And we're not building a new town hall
Well,
within the
Depending on
next.
selling
Yeah,
this
we'd be getting rid of
as
it.
part of the.
Okay, so maybe not
Saying
shed.
that-
Yeah, I don't think we
Yeah.
need a shed.
What were they looking to store in the shed? Just out of curiosity.
The tools.
Just the hand tools and stuff? So you don't need anything big?
You got a shed?
A little closet locker or something like that. I think.
I-
You know a
I
shed?
think,
You know a shed?
I think I can help you out with that one. Yeah, yeah, I think I can help you out with that one. If that's all it's for, yeah, I can.
And so I don't know what line all of these things that would come under.
Well,
But
you're
I
getting a
just-
shed for free,
Yeah.
so.
You know where the shed's coming from, just let it go.
No, I mean, any, okay.
Yeah, there's no expense on this.
Yeah.
Buildings and grounds, I think is where he said that comes out of.
Okay,
Was that
The
correct?
seeds and stuff? Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Shade trees.
We
$1,000,
actually use that line.
never.
You know, I
Why?
think,
Why?
Vivian from Fossil was looking into, a tree smart community type thing, so let me tell you, maybe we can get
It's-
some
it's
trees.
there.
and start
Plant 'em.
planting.
CAC,
Yes, CAC, I know they have some stuff that they want to do. Can you bring that up very quickly for us? You wanted to,
Sure, we would like to begin the process of doing a natural resource inventory. The last one was done, just about 15 years ago. You bring in professional people, so it would be under contracted services, whatever it's CE, I guess. And the purpose there is to really direct the kinds of things you want to be looking at. I would definitely volunteer to look at shade trees, which are part of that, to think about how to do that, to do it in a way that addresses what the community needs. So a natural resource inventory, which is being done in a couple of local communities, we might be able to use the work that they have already done and sort of update it or spread it to our community, but we would like to begin that process.
and what do you think? I mean, originally, we talked about some very high numbers, and I thought that those were probably not practical for this time, so.
Right, so
I believe you came up with a number of around $5,000.
$5,000 would be wonderful if that was possible. We'd really want to start that process. We haven't gone out to bid, which I think we want to do for this and really find out. There's a recently one done in Gallatinville. There's another one done, I think, in Ankrum. Who did they get? Were they good enough? Could we actually piggyback on some of the work that they've done? So I don't know. We haven't been able to, nobody will talk numbers with us at this moment. The other CACs is, that's what we've been asking. I don't know why. I can just say we've asked, and I'll say, well, you should talk to this other person. You haven't got a straight answer. So we would like to begin that process. Shade trees could definitely be a part of what we would plan for and think about. And we've also been thinking about how to increase usage of natural resources and education about them so that more of our community really uses the wonderful things that we have here. There's a lot of lack of knowledge about how to do those kinds of things. Is
Excellent.
that enough?
So, yeah, I think that very well covers it. Thank you. So the number was 5,000 for CAC, which is a big jump from where they've been. I lost the line.
Right underneath shade trees.
800.
Any thoughts from anyone else?
well, let's plug it in there, and then when I plug this in the computer for the equation, we'll see where we're at with the
Okay.
final.
We'll put it down for 5 right now.
But even so, like that $30,000 line, remember where you asked for before, the study is gonna be done for the town, so like the town, I don't think, even if it's not in the CAC specifically, like the town. Like should have like, you know what I mean, like. Yeah, I think it'll be covered either way, but we can put 5,000, I think that,
Okay.
like even if it doesn't come out of that line, right, that.
As long as it
30,000
gets reflected
Yeah.
somewhere.
And so these are some of the things, just to back up, these are some of the things for the community garden. It seems like maybe all of this can come out of building.
Because once
You know,
that
this is-
study is done, like we can go into like,
There's
it's the green store community, the tree,
Just about
town, small town tree,
Yeah,
which you can
yeah.
apply and get a lot of grants for all these things. So like that study is just smart to do like for the town and like, so.
Right, so
Yeah,
it
I
can
don't
come out
think
of it.
Compost and stuff. Maybe I'll donate.
Okay.
Emergency disaster work. Stayed at 1,000.
How, have, how much of that have we used in the past?
We haven't really.
Emergency disaster work, I mean, it's a small number.
It's a
If we
small
have a
number.
real disaster.
Well, it's a small number.
$50,000.
Yeah, $50,000.
No, this is, to prepare you. As far as like Rich Prentice is the head of our emergency disaster plan, so this would be anything. It can be used for if you made copies or if we got the group together and made anything as far as that, anything major disaster wise, yeah, no.
No.
But we
Okay.
haven't.
is
do we
just-
have
so
an
this is
emergency
just-
Is it like
disaster-
for an education type thing?
Yeah.
Cause like State Fair, you can go to that one thing, they give you the backpack that has like
Yes.
a flashlight, roll duct tape. Could we
Correct.
have one of those things at the community center? You know, cause it's good to know, like good for kids to go through as well.
Yes,
So would you say training, education?
training, education, yeah.
Okay.
That's
Do we
why
have an
it's so
emergency
minimal.
disaster plan?
We do.
Where is it?
There's a copy of it, I believe, in my office.
Yeah. With locations specified for,
Not specific locations. I
No.
don't believe in there. I gotta look at it again. It's 2 years ago. since
yeah, I'm
it
just
was-
like wondering, is the library, community center?
Well, that's a
location, Heating, warming,
registered American Red Cross
okay, the
disaster
community,
because of
Shelter.
the
Generator and all.
generator and the elevator and
okay,
believe it or not, the school is listed as one, but it technically doesn't have a generator, so it. State retirement. Recommendation is we actually take, looking at the figures and everything, we take 2,000 off of that. So we drop that down,
Where it
back
was.
to 28, yes,
Whose recommendation?
off of the operating statement. Of what we're out.
You just said recommendation. Oh, so it's your
Yeah, no,
recommendation.
yes,
Okay.
yes, yes.
Okay.
Which I can't give you a year date number because that usually comes out at the end of the year. That payment.
That's fine.
Fire and police retirement. That went up a little bit due to the fact of us hiring another guy. Social security town share, that stayed the same. We're right on point where year to date is 29,503.
Medicare same.
Medicare stayed the same. Which we're on track for $6,900. Year to date. Workman's comp. We haven't received their big bill yet, but that increased by 5,000. Year to date is 30,000 and change.
So we can go back to 40 on that, right? Or no? What's the big bill or you don't know?
I wouldn't,
They carrying over into next year or no?
no, quarter four. So we'll get it in December, however, employee reasoning, we're leave it at 45, yeah. And now plus we got the extra guy at the highway department that we finally able to get a hold of. So that's gonna increase too. Unemployment insurance, went up 1,000. Year to date, we're sitting at $1,368. So that extra. Medical insurance, town share stayed the same. Year to date, we're 29,369. We haven't received our second half bill yet. And our principals for 12 North Main and our 8 North Main, our new town hall site, and the interest rates. Obviously, the interest rates went down and the principal payment went down.
so the principal payment went down 4. I see.
I'm sorry, the
Okay.
interest, the principal
Interest
payment
on the
stayed the
next
same, the
page.
interest rate.
Right,
went down.
right.
Yep,
And so it's only listed on, so it's only listed
Correct.
on the one property,
yes,
because they're combined? Or,
no,
There were
No,
two separate ones. we
there were two
finished.
separate properties.
We finished
And-
8.
okay, 8 is paid for.
Wait a second, so there's 3 principles there though.
The interest, 8 and 10, or whatever, 8 and 12, thank you.
The first one, it's 15,335.
Library.
Okay,
And then that's the first interest, the library on the second.
Like, do you notice how the interest is higher than the payment?
Yeah,
Okay. Now we're into the highway.
is it safe to assume that, Carl submitted a specific
Yeah.
budget?
Actually, Karen did.
Yeah.
so you mean it's right.
It's there. They're the only changes which, you wanna just go over the changes that
Okay,
he's got? Is everybody good with that?
I'm fine with that.
He got an increase in chips for next year. That's the
one.
projection, that's the 260.
yeah,
Substantial,
okay.
That's substantial, yeah.
Yep,
doubled
well,
pretty much.
Does he have specific projects listed or
Yes.
something?
Yeah.
Yeah,
a lot of that there's rollover in that too. So chips money that they don't use,
Wow.
they can allocate.
mhm,
So you'll see in the appropriations. That 260 for the chips, the permanent improvements EQ. That's where that 260 increases.
mhm.
Yep.
And
And then,
CHIPS is reimbursed
From
from
the state.
New York State.
yes,
After he completes it.
machinery, CE, he requested a $5,000 reduction.
Okay.
Where are we?
Well, he must have his reasoning. Let's not argue with it.
I just don't wanna cut ourselves short.
So he submits a budget to you, but you don't necessarily have a deep
Explanation.
conversation. Yeah,
No, because he's usually spot on.
okay.
I actually agree with Bobby on that one.
I would say we leave it the
Leave
same.
it,
I mean,
85?
yes.
I mean,
Yes.
I know that we like the reduction, but I don't wanna cut ourselves short in the end.
Oh, I got you. I remember in years past, we were also looking for like a replacement schedule of like trucks and
Oh, we're-
equipment, like for like 10 years down the road, you know.
We're still waiting for our truck
That Heather,
No,
Right.
I got you,
that Heather purchased.
but that's what, like, put it.
I mean, it's been
So
like
we're gonna
3
have to
years.
on that when that
With
comes
those
in.
figures, been maintenance.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
this goes back, what was that?
And then.
When we
yeah,
first
we're
started,
into
yeah.
Weeds again.
What is the truck?
6-wheeler,
So it would be
Use
used
the
as.
utility body, right?
A regular dump
No.
truck,
it's a regular dump
Regular
truck.
dump?
Yeah, 6-wheeler.
Not a plow vehicle.
no, a plow
No,
truck,
plow
Oh,
truck.
everything.
plow wing,
Yeah,
everything.
Yep.
okay. And what's the price on that?
They just,
We were at 250.
We had to run the board, we
Not
had
too
to,
long ago.
we had to
approved it.
approve because they had to up it from a 2024 to a 2025, and there was a.
Didn't it go down or something like that?
No, it
was
went up,
low.
it went up
wasn't
like
much, though.
$5,000. Yeah,
I think they got the cab and chassis, if I'm not mistaken, but
When was the expected arrival date originally?
Sometime 2024.
2024.
Wow.
All right, so put that to 85. So the brush and weeds miscellaneous. Um, payroll 7,000 stayed the same. The CE for equipment or contractual, I'm sorry, was 12,000. He upped that $2,000. He said we got some trees and stuff that are gonna need trimming, so we subcontract that out to Mr. Windover. Well, he's thinking big as far as our snow removal this year,
Man, I hope he's spot on.
He's,
so
he believes the farmers only.
Praying for
that was an increase of $3,520. Snow removal, contractual stayed the same. State retirement stayed the same on his figures. Social Security town share stayed the same. And Medicare stayed the same. And unemployment search stayed the same, and medical insurance town share stayed the same. The reason why from three, I know you asked this question, from 3 years ago, the increase was there's more people that are taking the insurance now. That the town's offering, so that drives the cost up. Um, the debt service bond is zeroed out because we paid the tractor off last year. So we have zero debt as of right now until this new truck comes in. So, right, lighting district. This consists of all our streetlights and whatnot. That has not been raised, and we're right within budget.
So 30.
Yes. Year to date, we're 18,760.
You know what we were last year?
I do not.
Okay.
So we're about 37.5% left.
But we still got town decorated then, right?
That's
Don't all
fine.
those lights go in there. I know it's
We're
not
right
a
on
lot,
it.
but I mean, it's
Mhm.
something.
I think 30 is more than sufficient.
Do the lights on the bridge come out of that?
They do,
Okay,
they do.
And we're only at 17. And those were on all summer.
Well, they're fixed now.
I know,
Trust me,
It took-
she knows.
makes my yard
Keep
look
her
like
awake.
Alcatraz.
Keep her awake at night.
All right, water department. Very minimal. Increases. He had under revenue, he's gonna increase the meter water sales from the meters. And he is requesting a pay raise for himself this year, as he has not received one in a couple of years.
Where are we?
Oh,
30%, very good. 80,
Okay, thank you. All right, there we go.
Administration PS.
Yep.
Yep.
That's his and Deb's salary, which Deb's is very minimal. She got a raise last year too.
I don't know who Deb is.
Right,
Deb
Deb
Phillips.
Phillips.
Deb Phillips, everybody, how can you not know Deb Phillips? You know everybody in this
No,
town.
I don't. Okay, I'm glad she got a raise though.
Administration fees, that's his raise.
Mhm.
His, that's zero other changes, and his interest and, principal or for his water project that he still has his going out for.
And what water project is that?
It's a water replacement line of when they did, from Poplar to, the center of town and up, with Carlo Terrace and near
Mhm.
Joey Smith's house.
Mhm.
Remember when they put that line
I do.
in to close loops?
I do.
So continuing on with this, you take what we've done here tonight, you plug the numbers in,
Correct.
and then it generates
Oh. It'll generate the total.
the total, and it'll distribute that to us so that we can.
Correct. I will send it over to you via email and then we have to discuss it at Thursday's meeting.
Okay,
Mhm.
And then it'll be, then we have to accept it as a preliminary budget. Then our public hearing is in November. And then after we accept the preliminary budget, we can only reduce. We can't increase. And then we accept our final budget in November.
okay.
And what if what you've calculated does pierce the 2% cap
That's when we will adjust Thursday.
Thursday, okay.
Yep.
And those figures will be spit out too,
Correct.
so that we can,
Correct.
okay.
Correct.
And what is our appropriated fund balance?
General is $1,449,415.94. Did you get that?
I got it,
Appropriated fund balances, say that again.
general,
No, the fund balance is,
Wait,
no, it's not on there.
it's not on there, okay.
Fund balance for the general
Mhm.
is $1,449,415.94. The highway is $610,890.24. And usually you want to keep half of your budget for emergency circumstances.
Okay. So. We'll be seeing an email from you
Tomorrow.
tomorrow, okay. And then Thursday we hash it out.
Yep.
The rest of the way.
Yep.
And then there's no public comment on Thursday. In terms of the budget.
No,
It's,
that's all for the public hearing in
It's a
November.
public hearing.
Yep.
So
This is in
and so the
November.
public, do we have a date for the public hearing?
It's
Usually we do it at the board meeting,
The 14th,
yes. It's usually set before, right at 7 o'clock, we do the public hearing, then we go into our board meeting.
7:05.
Yeah, 7 o'clock.
The third Thursday of November is what?
Which is the 21st.
is the 21st,
But is
but
that
we're gonna do it on the
Thanksgiving?
14th? No,
No,
no, it's
it's
28th.
28th.
Well,
So we're gonna do the public hearing on the 14th?
Mhm.
No, we
the
usually
third
do it right at the
Thursday.
board meeting.
We do it on the 21st. At
We do it the
7:05.
same day as the board meeting. We
Which
just set it during the.
Oh, the board meeting is not the 14th.
No, it's the 21st.
Oh, I got that wrong. Okay. Okay. And then we vote on
That's when you vote same day.
no later than, must be adopted no later than November 20th.
We've always done it at the board meeting.
You're not gonna get in trouble?
No.
With
We've
New York
always
State,
done it.
because it says November 20th.
No. I believe last year was the 21st as well, I think.
It's right around.
Yep, it's always done at November's board meeting.
Is that something that you would need to inform the comptroller's office of? Or-
No.
No,
I'll call him though.
We good? Can I make a motion to adjourn?
Yes.
Bobby, can you get out the bottom?
You just say.
Second.
Okay.
All in favor?
uh,
I kind of